Hello and welcome back to Java in the Cloud. In this video, we're going to be looking a bit more closely into AWS Secrets Manager. This is a service that you can use to protect your secrets like passwords and application configuration. In the previous video, we created a Lambda application that used Secrets Manager to generate a password for an RDS database. We then stored that password as an environment variable on the Lambda function and then used it within our application. This is pretty good, but we can do better. So in this video, we're going to look at how to replace that environment variable and instead load that secret at runtime. Secrets Manager is a great solution for this problem. It's fully managed, so you don't need to run any servers and you only pay for what you use, which in our case will be very minimal. So we're going to make some changes to our application. I'm going to show you two different approaches. One is going to be using the AWS SDK, and that's going to use the AWS SDK to get the secrets at runtime. And then the other approach is going to be with Spring, using the AWS Spring library. And that's going to be a very simple approach. It's going to be an applications.properties file that we're going to use, and that's automatically going to handle the integration with Secrets Manager for us. So let's get started. So in our previous version, this is what the code for our Lambda function looked like. We were passing in the database password and the database user as environment variables. In this version, we're going to change that. We're going to remove those environment variables, and instead we're going to access those when we need them at runtime. So we're going to first add our permissions so that our Lambda function can read the database secret. The next thing we need to change is our networking. We need to be able to access Secrets Manager from our private subnet. And to do that, we can use a interface endpoint. Now, this is the only option for our Secrets Manager. There isn't a gateway endpoint for Secrets Manager, which is a bit of a shame. The gateway endpoints are free and a lot simpler, but they're not available for all services. Gateway endpoints are only available for S3 and for DynamoDB. So instead, we're using an interface endpoint, and that allows us to manage traffic from this private subnet to the service that we want to use. To add the interface endpoint, it's very easy in CDK. This is the code for that endpoint. You can see that I've attached it to our VPC and I've specified the Secrets Manager service. Now let's look at how we can change our Lambda functions to now use Secrets Manager instead of using an environment variable. So what I've done is I've added the Secrets Manager dependency to this Lambda function. And this is a Lambda function that I use to make changes to the database. So it's got the database schema, and it connects to the database and runs the schema to create my database. So what I've done here is I've created a Secrets Manager client. All communication to Secrets Manager is via the API. And then in the request handler method, I've started to make a request to get the secret value from Secrets Manager. And I'm passing in the secret ID there. So this is the reference to my specific secret for this application. Once I've got that, then I return a JSON object. And that JSON object has a bunch of different values, and I only need some of them. So it has the database, the password, the engine, the port, the host and the username, and the DB identifier. So I only need a few of those, but I'm going to grab those, put those into a Java record, and then further down, I'm going to use that record to grab the username and password. And this is how you would use Secrets Manager, but there's one problem here, is that because I've implemented it in the handle request method, I'm going to make that call to Secrets Manager every time I have an invocation of my Lambda function, and that is suboptimal So instead I'm going to change this around a little bit. So let's change this and put the code in the constructor instead. Let's pull this request into the handler. We need to deserialize the request response, handle the exception. And then let's assign these two fields. Okay, that should do it. So that was how to do the integration with the AWS SDK. For our other Lambda, we're using Spring. So we can use this Spring Cloud AWS library to help us integrate with Secrets Manager. So like it says, this is a library that is not maintained by Amazon or VMware, but it's actually a community project. So take a look at it. It's really, really cool and has all sorts of Spring specific integrations for AWS services. To start using the AWS Spring Secrets Manager integration, we can add a single dependency, and then we can make a change to our application properties file. And this is about as simple as it gets, really. We tell Spring configuration import that we want to import from AWS Secrets Manager. This is the name of our secret. And then this is a special syntax to say, once you've imported those secrets, make them available with the prefix db dot. And there you can see that everything which was an item in our database secret is now a property that's available in our applications properties. And I can simply import and then immediately use them in my application properties. And that's it. I don't need to add anything else. This application now works. And that brings our video to the end. Today you learned how to use AWS Secrets Manager at runtime to further improve the security posture of your Lambda applications. There are trade-offs with this approach because now you're making a network call as part of your first invoke of your Lambda function. This will increase latency. If you want to reduce latency as much as possible, then you can remove this and go back to using the environment variable approach. In the next video, we're going to look at scaling this application. We're going to introduce more writes to S3, and we're going to look at how our application performs. We'll look at some observability tools like X-Ray, and we'll see if we can look at where the latency of our application is being used. Okay, I hope you join me then. Click that like and subscribe if you've appreciated this video. Thank you.